There's a guy I know, 34 years old, software engineer in Austin, makes $180,000 a year, drives a leased BMW, lives in a nice apartment in a nice part of town. Last month he asked me if he could borrow $400. Not because he lost his job, not because something catastrophic happened. Because his car needed new tires, rent was due, and his checking account had $87 in it. 3 days before payday. $180,000 a year, and he couldn't cover a tire. Here's what nobody tells you about your 30s. The decade doesn't punish you for being poor. It punishes you for being unconscious. For sleepwalking through the most important financial years of your entire life while telling yourself you'll figure it out later. Later is the most expensive word in the English language. I'm going to walk you through 10 moves that separate the people who hit 40 with options from the people who hit 40 with excuses. But before I do, I need you to sit with 2 uncomfortable truths. First, most of what you've been told about building wealth in your 20s and 30s is wrong in a way that benefits someone else. Second, the person quietly getting rich in your friend group is almost never the one you'd expect. I'll come back to both of those. Stay with me. Move 1. Stop optimizing your savings rate and start optimizing your income ceiling. Every finance guru on the internet will tell you to save 20% of your paycheck, cut the lattes, skip the avocado toast. It's not wrong exactly. It's just painfully small thinking. If you make $60,000 and you save a heroic 25%, you're banking $15,000 a year. If you make $140,000 and you save a mediocre 15%, you're banking $21,000. The person with worse habits wins by $6,000 every year for 30 years. Your income is the engine. Your savings rate is the steering wheel. You need both, but if the engine is a lawnmower, it doesn't matter how well you steer. Before 35, your single most valuable financial move is to ruthlessly, obsessively, almost embarrassingly focus on raising your income. Switch jobs every 2 to 3 years. Negotiate like your life depends on it because it kind of does. Build a skill on the side that pays you in dollars, not dopamine. Move 2. Automate the boring part so your willpower never has to show up. There's a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And the quietest line in the whole thing is the one that changed how I think about money. He says you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Read that twice. You will never, ever save money consistently if saving requires a decision. Willpower is a muscle, and by Thursday afternoon, yours is exhausted. Set up automatic transfers the day your paycheck lands. Retirement account, emergency fund, brokerage account. Gone before you see it. Gone before you feel it. Gone before the part of your brain that wants new sneakers even knows it was there. The people who get rich aren't disciplined. They've just removed the need for discipline. Move 3. Build a 6-month emergency fund and then stop touching it. Not 3 months, 6. In cash. Boring, high-yield savings account cash. I know every TikTok finance bro will tell you that holding cash is losing money to inflation. Ignore them. That cash isn't an investment. It's a hostage negotiator. It's the thing that lets you say no to a bad boss, no to a desperate decision, no to a credit card when life does what life always does, which is surprise you. The 2020 lockdowns, the 2023 tech layoffs, the medical bill that arrives in an envelope you didn't want to open. Nobody who had 6 months of cash regretted it. Everybody who didn't wished they had. Move 4. Max out your retirement accounts like your future self is watching. I know. Retirement feels like a concept invented for other people. Boring people. People who wear beige. But here's the thing nobody explains properly. $1 you invest at 28 becomes roughly $16 by 65. $1 you invest at 38 becomes about 7. Same dollar. Completely different outcomes. The only variable is time. Every year in your 20s and early 30s that you don't contribute to a 401k or a Roth IRA is a year you are literally setting fire to future money. Your employer match alone, if you're ignoring it, is a 50 to 100% instant return that you are handing back out of pure inertia. There is no investment strategy. There is no side hustle. There is no crypto play that will ever outperform 10 extra years in the market. Move 5. Kill high-interest debt like it's trying to kill you, because it is. Credit card debt at 24% interest is not a financial problem. It is a slow bleed. You cannot invest your way out of it. You cannot budget your way around it. The math of a 24% guaranteed loss is stronger than the math of any guaranteed gain you'll ever find. If you have credit card debt, nothing else on this list matters until it's gone. Not your Roth, not your side hustle, not your stock picks. Attack it with the intensity of someone whose hair is on fire. Now, remember the uncomfortable truth I mentioned at the start? The one about the quietly rich person in your friend group? Here it is. It's almost never the one posting the vacation photos. It's almost never the one with the new car. It's the person who lives in a slightly smaller apartment than they could afford. Drives a Toyota that's 8 years old. Doesn't talk about money at all. There's a book called The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley, and he spent decades studying actual millionaires in America. The finding that shocked him wasn't how they made money. It was how they looked. They looked exactly like nobody. Wealth is quiet. Broke pretending to be rich is loud. Your entire social media feed is training you to confuse the two. Move 6. Buy assets, not liabilities, and learn the difference before 30. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. A rental property that cash flows is an asset. A house you can barely afford with a mortgage that eats your income is a liability wearing a costume. A stock portfolio is an asset. A new truck financed over 72 months is a liability that loses 20% the moment you drive it off the lot. Most people spend their 30s buying liabilities they think are assets because someone on Instagram told them it was a flex. Move 7. Start one income stream that has nothing to do with your job. Not because you're going to quit. Not because you want to be an entrepreneur. Because a single point of income failure in your 30s, with a family and a mortgage, is the most financially dangerous position a human being can be in. A second stream can be tiny. $500 a month from freelance work. $300 from a newsletter. $1,000 from a rental. The amount isn't the point. The existence is the point. Because the day your main job becomes unstable, and it will, you'll have a bridge instead of a cliff. Move 8. Get the insurance conversation over with. Term life insurance if anyone depends on your income. Disability insurance because you are statistically more likely to become disabled than die before 65. Health insurance that actually covers things, not the cheapest plan you picked because you were 26 and invincible. One emergency without insurance can erase a decade of good decisions. This isn't the fun part. It's the part that protects every other part. Move 9. Learn to invest in index funds and then stop checking them. You do not need to be smart to build wealth through the stock market. You need to be consistent and emotionally sedated. A low-cost S&P 500 index fund, contributed to every single month for 30 years, will quietly beat almost every hedge fund manager on earth. Warren Buffett bet $1 million on this and won. Stop day trading. Stop watching stock tips on TV. Stop asking your cousin about his crypto pick. Buy the index. Set it on autopilot. Go live your life. Move 10. And this is the one nobody will tell you. Invest in your health with the same seriousness you invest in your money. You can hit 40 with $1 million and a body that betrays you. You can hit 40 with half that and the energy to actually spend it. Sleep. Lift weights. Walk every day. See a doctor before something hurts. The richest man in the retirement home is still in the retirement home. And here's the pivot I promised you. Everything I just told you, every single move, is useless if you don't do the one thing that most people never do. You have to tell yourself the truth about where you are. Open the accounts. Add up the debts. Look at the real number. Not the story you've been telling yourself, the actual number. That 10 minutes of honest math is more valuable than any advice on this list, because you cannot navigate out of a place you refuse to admit you're standing in. The engineer I told you about at the start, the one who needed $400, he opened his accounts that night. All of them, for the first time in 3 years. He cried a little. Then he started. He's 34. He has time. You probably do too. If this helped, subscribe. I make these for the version of you that's ready to stop sleepwalking.